Hi guys, Rod from TAT here. I'm going to be programming the engine control module in a diesel Captiva today to address the diesel particulate filter calibration update, and I'm going to be using the new GM MDI2, which is the latest offering from Holden or from GM, and this is a wireless device. It doesn't need a tethered cable between the diagnostic connector and the laptop. So let's get started. Okay, so this morning I'm going to be doing a software update on this Holden Captiva. So whenever you're programming, you should always make sure you've got good strong battery voltage. Most manufacturers will tell you that there's no warranty if you turn a control module into a brick and you didn't have a battery stabilizer of some sort on there. So that's what this one is. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is go to the ACDelco site, the service portal. Should use Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer works a lot better. So we just want to log in. Accept the agreement, and we want to go into our service and reprogramming section. Now you need to purchase a subscription. The subscriptions are, you can purchase short term or long term. In this instance all we want to do is, there's a few choices. We just want to program a module, so our choices are our smallest purchase is for a couple of days for $55 US, and once you've done that you'll have a link here to access your subscription. You usually get prompted with any notifications of any news, so you want to SPS this, and there's just a warning message there with reprogramming OnStar modules. We don't need to worry about that in this instance. And we want to start SPS. SPS just means Service Programming Systems. The ACDelco site relies on using Java for a lot of things. You'll have to make sure you've always got the most up-to-date version of Java, or it won't play. It'll take a little while. Now I'm using the wireless, the new J2534 device by GM, the MDI2, which is their latest, greatest one. And we're not replacing the computer, all we're doing is updating it with the latest calibration file or flash file. So we select reprogram, tell it what device we're using, and click next. Here it just wants you to make sure that you've got a battery maintainer, good fully charged battery, the ignition's on. And we go next, and it's asking us which device we want to connect to, and that's our Wi-Fi MDI2. We connect to that, and wants to know what make we're working on. Select Holden, and this is a 2009 Captiva. It'll ask you things like sometimes whether it's got full climate control, whether it's got stability program, what sort of transmission. Sometimes you'll get all those different questions. So it's found the VIN number, and just make sure that that VIN number is correct, which it is. And these are the modules that we can check calibrations on and load new calibration files or flash files if required. So we're just doing the ECM, we're programming. And most of the time you don't need to change this, we stick with the VCI. Then we click next. And now it's just going to do a quick check on the module to see what calibration file is currently on the computer in the car and what the newest calibration file is that's available for it. The one that we're installing today will be for the DPF. had a flash calibration update for the addressing DPF. So we see here we've got two calibration choices, and we want the DPF one. And click next. So the current calibration file is 2518.1351, and we're going to install 2518.9136, which is a newer version. So we just want to make sure all that information there is correct down the bottom. See, it's a 2-litre diesel, automatic, all-wheel drive, and then we click next. Now that downloads the calibration file off the server first, and then once it's done that, it will commence the reprogramming of the ECU. This sometimes can take as much as 5 or 10 minutes. Now, just as a side note here, this is why we need a battery maintainer. During this process, that ignition key just automatically went off and back on again just then, and during that process it turned the headlights on, and these things you need to be aware of. If you haven't got a battery maintainer there, if that battery voltage gets down too low, the programming will fail. There's no question it'll fail, and you can in some instances turn that module into a brick. So there we see we've put the latest calibration on it, and sometimes there'll be specific information inside this box here. We see we have no specific information, so in that case we just do the normal procedure where we turn the ignition off for 30 seconds. We do that just to reset the module. Now what I like to do, once that's sat for 30 seconds with the ignition off, just for my own peace of mind, just to make sure everything went smoothly, I'm just going to go back through and just make sure it has got that new calibration file installed correctly. So just turn the ignition back on, and we'll start SPS again. We'll get the typical Java prompts. I think Holden have made this process very simple. They've given good guided instructions through the whole process. It's really, once you've done it a couple of times, it's a very, very simple procedure. We're going to select our Cardac M again. We're going to reprogram ECU. Not that it matters because we're not doing anything, we're just looking. Let's click next. We'll select our module again, our VCI. Select Holden, 2009, Captiva. And again we check our VIN, make sure it's correct. Select our engine control module, reprogramming. And we don't touch the normal here. Most times just normal's fine, what we want. And we select next, and it says here the calibration file selected is the current calibration file in the control module, so we don't need to do any flashing. Okay. So that's it, we're all done. New flash file, car should start. Oh, that's a relief. Just kidding. It's a very simple process. Most people go through it the first time without too much of a problem. Catch us later.